Hey listeners, it's Kara, your host. After 176 amazing episodes and hundreds of book recommendations, I wanted to make it a little bit easier for you to find your next great read. The Bookish Lights Roadmap is your guide to all 175 podcast episodes, sorted by genre so you can quickly find the stories that fit your reading mood. From picture books to adult novels and everything in between, it's the perfect way to explore past episodes and discover new favorites. You can find your copy of the Bookish Lights Roadmap at www.bookishlights.com/read/roadmap, or just click the link in the show notes. Hi, I'm Kara Infante, and this is Bookish Flights, a podcast where we tell our stories through our favorite books. Each episode features a bookish guest where we will talk about reading, life, and the seasons we're in, all through a thoughtfully paired book flight of recommendations for you. If you're looking for meaningful book recommendations and a space to slow down, you're in the right place. In today's episode, I am chatting with Holly B. Holly is a heartfelt writer who was born and raised in a small town in northern Ontario. She is a proud dog mom to 2 rescue dogs and 1 cat, and she loves incorporating them into her stories, drawing inspiration from the animals she has had the privilege to adopt. We are here today to discuss her debut novel, North of Broken and Forever Home. Holly is also the host of the podcast Ramblings from the Little Shed. Welcome to the show, Holly.
Hi, Kara. I am super excited to be here. And I really mean that, because when I met you, I I was just excited to be part of your book club, but I thought, I wonder if I could ever be on her podcast one day, because you're just so lovely and genuine and welcoming. So thank you.
Thank
That was
you.
long. Thank you.
Yes. No, I was just thinking that Holly has been with our BFF Book Club since the beginning, and you are like exactly what I wanted when I started that. Is I wanted to start interacting with the listeners and the community of Bookish Fights, and I feel like we've become friends from that, which is like
Absolutely.
exactly what I wanted. Now, I haven't been to Ontario to meet you. We've never met in real life, maybe one day, but it
Mhm.
was exactly what I wanted from book club. So thank you for being a part of it.
Well, thank you for creating it. I
Yeah.
can't find a book club in my own town, so this to me was it came at the perfect moment.
Wonderful. I love
Yeah.
it. That serendipity of books, always, it gets us. Well, I feel like we're so much more than our bios. So, can you tell us a little bit about who you are?
Oh gosh, I have evolved so much, but first and foremost, I am a mother of 2 adult sons who are great, great humans. A wonderful husband. I think we're going on 30 years, but don't quote me on that.
Wow.
Don't tell him either. Um, I have always had dogs, and I have 2 rescues right now who are approaching the 12 mark. We're not sure. You're never quite sure when you
Yeah.
rescue a dog. And we have my mom's dog here because my mom lives with us now, and our cat. And I work full time in the correctional field,
Okay.
but 4 o'clock is when my, creative life starts, and that's when I tap into all my creative pursuits. Writing is where my heart is right now, but I love dabbling in so many other things like knitting and diamond dotting and that sort of thing. I
Yeah.
love all things hand related.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so interested because as a mom of littler children right now, did you have these things going when you were a younger mother?
I did.
Okay.
And I always say that I don't have regrets in life, and I don't. But if I were to maybe change something in my younger life, in my mom life, I would have tried to do less of those hobbies. But I
Oh,
think it's because I was always searching for something for me, like
yeah.
for something to belong to have a passion for. And yes, I had a job, but I was following my husband across, northern Canada for work. And so I was always trying to fill some sort of void that I
Yeah.
couldn't find. And writing is now it. Took me 5 decades to find it, but I did. So, yes, I did do all the things. I started knitting, I made them little sweaters. But I think it also showed my boys that you are able to do more than one thing at a time. And my boys were always well taken care of, and we did lots with our sons. We were alone when
Yeah.
we were living in these northern places. So I would just tone it back a little bit and not try to do all the things, maybe just a few.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about it on the show so much. It's such a balance, right? Of being present, feeding your soul a little bit. I mean, there's just so many things to juggle in a day. And I'm sure you still have it even with older children, but
Mhm.
I appreciate you saying that, maybe dial it back a little bit. It's hard in the moment to remember, like, you will miss these moments.
You will.
Yeah.
It was my husband's birthday the other day, and my oldest son posted a photo, and I was trying to remember where it was, and then I got the memory, and I thought, oh, and then it just hits you right in the middle, right of the
Yeah.
heart. And I love my life. I do, but I do miss those moments. I miss them being little and always being with us because they're adults now and they're off in their own and living their own lives and their best lives. And we're still very much a part of that, but I don't know. I mean, I could say that I would change what I did back then, but maybe it was meant to be just the way it was.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, but I don't know. If I did have to turn it back, I still would just do a little bit less,
Yeah.
not seek so much approval. That's what it comes down to, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe more just for you, your own approval, not the
Yes.
exterior.
Yes, because that was exactly it. I always wanted somebody to say, "Oh my gosh, that's great. How do you do that?" Now, I don't even show half of the things that I do. I mean, knitting, yes, and
Yeah.
we talk about it, but I'm okay if I'm just doing my own thing here for hours on end and just enjoying the process.
Yeah, I think there's a lot with the identity shifts that we make, especially, I mean, I didn't know this about your story that very similar life, right? A transient
Mhm.
lifestyle, you're constantly moving, probably constantly leaving your job.
Yes.
And when you don't have that big identity that everybody talks about, it's
Mhm.
very hard to know, like, well, who am I then in that moment?
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. My husband always had his
Yeah.
career. I always had a job, and that's the way I categorized it. And so I had great jobs. I worked
Yeah.
with wonderful people, never had any issues or conflicts. I always found myself in wonderful workspaces, but it just never filled the void or
Yeah.
never gave me passion. I went to work and I always looked forward to after work, that life
Yeah.
after. So, I mean, that has shifted and changed. It's taken me a long time. I went back to school. I'm still in school and never stop, never stop reaching and trying to find what drives you, gives you purpose, and makes you feel whole.
Yeah. Well, that's the perfect segue, I think, to now your writing life. Like you said, you've now found writing. You've
Yes.
had your book published, North of Broken and Forever Home. And for the listeners that maybe haven't had a chance to pick it up yet, can you tell them a little bit about it?
This is a love letter to my two dogs. It's dedicated to Sully and Cash because they are both in the book. So
Okay.
it's Renly. She's 47 years old. And like me, she does have a lot of my traits, right? She was looking for purpose, meaning the job that gives her meaning. She's in a dead end job. So her best friend, Emma, is a director at a shelter. She convinces her to go on a rescue mission to rescue a pack of dogs in the north. Northern Ontario is where I situated it.
Okay.
Fictitious towns, though. Everything is fiction. And so she goes on this one day rescue mission. She's anxious because anytime she takes on one more thing, she has that anxiety and, oh my gosh, I've taken on too much. But she does. Consequently, falls in love with one of the dogs and wants to adopt it, but he gets adopted by another family because she
Oh,
waited one day too long. So there's that conflict. And so what we do is we follow Renly's path, but we also follow Sully's path, and he narrates his own journey.
oh, I love it. Okay.
So it's a dual narrative. So yeah, we follow their story, and then the other dog comes in, Cash, who is also mine, and he is a firecracker, and so we follow his journey as well. He's not like the main event, but he's in
Yeah.
there. He's got a spotlight.
I love that they have voices because I'm drawn to books where the animals have a role and we can hear
Mhm.
that role as well.
Me too. Yeah, can't get enough of it.
I have a really silly question that's going through my mind because We only have one rescue. We're down to one rescue cat right now.
Mm.
But do you talk in your dog's voices, like in your home?
Um, no.
Okay.
Do you mean do I mimic them?
No, like I narrate my cat. So for
I
for
love it.
everybody out there, it's like, what do you mean? But like for my kids, I'll kind of joke around like the cat will respond to them.
Oh, that's adorable. No, I don't. But maybe I will now. That no, I haven't done that.
Okay. My
Yeah,
husband looks at me like I have a third eye, and maybe listeners, you are too, but
I
it's
think there are a lot of listeners that will relate.
yeah. It's like I feel like it's a really funny way to like relate. You have your kids relate and like they always want to like hold him and pick him up and he doesn't even like me doing that. So I think for them to like give him a bit of a personality, it's like, no, you got to take care of him. Like be gentle.
Yeah.
He's 16 actually. He is this
Oh, wow.
well, he's gonna be 16, but
Yeah.
he's getting into old man years. I'm like, we've got to be
Yeah,
gentle with him.
exactly. No, I think that's great. I think it's fun and maybe I will.
Yeah. Whatever you all want to take away from that.
Take it. Take it
Yes.
all. I bet you there are a lot of people who do that. So
Yeah. I mean, it's not like a constant, but it is a bit of humor in the household. So,
listen, I gave my dog a voice and I heard poems in my head. So I think, we're fair. We're equal.
yeah. Well, what is your wish for readers when they pick up the book? What do you hope they'll take away?
Well, first of all, the one thing I keep thinking about is that I'm really asking readers to suspend judgment, right? Because they now have to read a dog who is telling his own story.
Yeah.
And so you really just have to suspend reality and go into this story and enjoy the story as much as you can. But also, what I discovered through this writing journey, I started this as a few poems, and
Okay.
it evolved into scenes and into chapters and into an entire book. Within 90 days, I had like 75,000 words, and it just
Wow.
spilled out of me. And so I didn't really know what to do with this, but I was also learning through this experience because I did this because I was always trying to fix my dogs.
Hmm.
They have so many issues and you don't know what their history is. And I realized that the point of it was not to rescue them, but it was to accept them. Even though I had had them for over 10 years, I was still trying to fix them and rescue what it was that was going wrong with them. But it was just a matter of acceptance.
Yeah.
And once I did that, once I flipped the switch, it really has changed my relationship with my dogs. I'm a lot more calmer, chill. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and what a metaphor for life, right? I think as a parent,
Mm.
we could probably be said to we're trying to do that with our kids. I don't know that fix is the right word, but we're trying to mold and
Yeah.
shape them,
Yes.
but how much are we then just accepting them for who they are?
Well, and that's just it. And then some people might argue, well, accept them. They have issues. They have behavior problems. And yes, that's true.
Yeah.
I will never deny that. My one dog has always been aggressive. He's not as much anymore. He's my senior now.
Yeah.
And but I have also been a responsible dog owner and I have taken him to obedience classes and done everything I can to rectify that. I built a fence around the yard so that no one else was in danger. Like just all
Sure.
those things. I realize they are dogs. But I
Yeah.
also realize that Sully, who has every possible fear you can imagine, doorways is his biggest one, like to walk through a doorway.
Okay.
I just have to accept that. And I have to let him do things on his own time, not on my time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think what a great lesson for us as well, right? I think I find this a lot with, I guess I keep going to children, but my cat has a lot of anxiety probably too. But
Yeah.
when we don't understand that, we tend to be like, well, just come on, like let's go, but it does not work like that for them. And recognizing that they are their own person or individual or
Mhm.
animal or whatever it may be, and we just can't possibly understand that because we don't experience that.
Yeah, and there's a really good example, and it's one of the scenes in the book. And this really did happen actually. So we had just gotten Sully, I think it was the first winter. My husband traveled a lot for work, and so we live in Northern Ontario. The winters are can be ferocious, but
Yeah.
there was a dog park about 7 kilometers away, and it was, it's fenced in. So I thought, okay, I'm going to take them there. but I had to go before anybody else went. Like it was always 6 o'clock in the morning because I didn't want to run into anyone, especially with Cash, who had aggressive-ish tendencies towards
Yeah.
other dogs, loves people. We do our thing, we play, we have a wonderful time. Sully bounces out of the truck into the park. Great. 20 minutes later, we're all, well, I'm freezing, so
Yeah.
I don't know, they must be cold. Try to get back in the car. No way. Sully was not even getting past the first gate because there's
Oh,
two gates,
no.
right?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So they don't run out.
Oh my gosh. I wasn't panicking at first, but it didn't take long. I went into
Yeah.
panic because I could not get this dog in the truck. I
And is
couldn't
he a
even
big
leash
dog
him.
too? Like, could you?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. You can't pick him up.
Well, I couldn't even get to him to pick him up. He wouldn't even allow me to approach
Oh,
him.
okay.
I was just trusting that he was going to follow me,
Yeah.
right? Because he loves me now. Like, no, he wouldn't even let me clip the leash on him, nothing. So we were out there. So I'd go in the SUV, turn it on. Cash was in the back already waiting. Like he's short
Come
hair,
on.
so he's like, let's go.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I am now starting to panic. What am I going to do? This dog is going to freeze out here. So I'd pull away, like as if I
Yeah.
was leaving,
Pretend.
kind of like I may have done that with the kids when we were walking, like, no, I'm leaving. No, I'm really
Yeah.
leaving, you know? And so I would do that. I'd drive away. No, he still wasn't coming. I'd back up. I'd open the gate, the hatch to the
Yeah.
gate, waited. This took forever. Called my husband, had a bit of a freak out, and long story short, he eventually just popped in. I sat in the car
Yeah.
and he just came in on his own volition. And I went out very quietly, shut the hatch, shut the gate, went home
Yeah.
and cried because I was so scared. Like he's a
Yeah.
big dog, he's furry, he's from the north. He could probably sleep outside, but
Yeah.
I was just so panicked that I wasn't going to be able to get him back.
Yeah.
So that actually happened. But see, when I just waited long enough and was patient,
Yeah. And you and Cash and were toasty warm in the car, so you were all good.
yeah. So he's still
Wow.
like that to a certain extent. Like
Yeah.
he just doorways are not his thing. So
Yeah. Just have to accept it.
I do.
Yeah.
Yep. I
Human
just
and
give him a lot
animal
of
alike.
time. Yes. He accepts me and all my quirkiness. So
Yeah. Well, what did you learn about yourself through writing this book?
that writing is where my heart is and will be.
I
And
love it.
I have found my passion. And this is my thing, and I've also found my people. I don't need a lot of people around me.
Yeah.
I've always been one to be, I'm not an introvert. I call myself an ambivert because I can really shift between the two. I do enjoy being like one-on-one with people, but I've really come into my own and accept myself for who I
Yeah.
am. And I enjoy my own company. Like I have a 6 hour car ride ahead of me after we're done because I'm going to a author vendor
Oh,
fair.
fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
my
Yeah.
first one, but it's in the city and it's
Yeah.
6 hours away. And I can't wait. I can't wait to listen to your podcast.
Yeah.
I can't wait to listen to my podcast because it brings me close to my son. I get to listen to my audiobooks and I also get to just be with my thoughts. So to come back to what your question is, what have I learned? Just to accept myself
Yeah.
and be okay with where I am and enjoy the process.
Yeah.
And I am. I'm really having fun. Sure. I mean, I could sit here and tell you all the times that I've cried and I have an inner critic. Those are all present people. Like I'm not,
Sure.
some happy, sunshiny rainbow. Everything is fine. No, like there's a reality. But even through those hard moments, I just sit with them and I get through them.
Yeah.
And the one line I have created over the last 2 years is I will get on the other side of this if it's a difficult moment. But
Yeah.
right now, it's all good.
Yeah. Well, and you can see the journey now, right? Where you've seen that you've gotten past those hiccups or those challenges
Yes.
and you've made it. So I think that always makes it a little bit easier that, yes, I can persevere, even though this is really hard.
Yeah, because it is really hard. And I'm
Yeah.
I'm starting a new one and it is really hard. And it's hard to find time and I work full time and my
Yeah.
husband still travels, but it's okay. I mean, nobody's knocking on my door saying,
Yeah.
where is that next, piece
Breathing
of
down your
writing or
neck.
manuscript? Yeah. So it's all the pressures that we put on ourselves, me specifically.
Yeah. I think a lot of us do as well, though.
Yeah.
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 Well, let's tell the listeners really quick about your podcast as well.
Oh,
Tell them what they can find there.
oh my gosh, it's so excited. I really have you to thank as well for helping me through that fear. We met last year because I reached out and I said, can we talk a little bit? And you did. You spent some time with me. But for whatever reason, I was sitting in that space of fear. I've wanted to do a podcast for a while, but I just didn't have, well, I don't know what I didn't have, but fear was stopping me. That's what I
Yeah.
do know. So every time I get close, my son and I, we do a practice run. Nope, nope. So I backpedal. This went on for months, and everybody was like, when are you going to do it already? Stop talking about it. So we did. So in November, I thought, okay, this is it. Hit the go button. And I did. So my
Yeah.
son and I have a podcast, and it's called Ramblings from the Little Shed, because in this space, this is my shed, by the cozy fire. We talk to people from all walks of life, and we ask them how they believe their animals, pets influence their creativity or their creative lives or their
Yeah.
lives. A lot of people feel they're not creative, but we usually bring it out of them.
I love
And then
that.
my son and I will ramble on after the interview is done. So we focus on the animal first.
Okay.
And then once that we feel like we've reached that, end of that subject, we move on to who they are as the human.
Okay.
So animal first,
Yep.
human second. But they love it, they appreciate it, and we're just having so much fun. And my son is really quite good at this. He streams online, and he's got the voice, and
Yeah. Well, and I can't imagine there's many podcasts like that out there. So what a gift to our community.
oh, thank you. Actually, I have not been able to find any
Yeah.
yet. There are a lot of pet oriented podcasts, so that's fun. I love that there's such a range.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. They're really, I mean, that's the beauty of podcasts, right? Is it is a
Yeah.
pretty simple entry to be able to do it. So there's so many options out there, but I'm so glad you did.
Oh, me too. And it's thank you, thanks to you. So,
I think that we could just mire ourselves in reasons to not do something. And eventually it just takes that
mhm.
one little bit that pushes you over the peak of like, okay, yep, I'm doing it. And it's going to feel uncomfortable. Like I'm challenging myself now to do something after talking. I've been working with these fabulous marketing gals, and they're like,
Mhm.
challenge yourself to go live on your Instagram.
Ooh,
And I'm like, I already speak in a video, I speak in a mic, and I do all this with the
yeah.
podcast, but I've never done it on a live format. And I did it for the first time last week, and it was very uncomfortable. So
Oh, yeah.
just if you're out there listening, things are very uncomfortable when you start, but the
Yeah.
more you do it and the more you show up and prove to yourself that you can do it, it'll get better.
I agree because I just listened to you say that and I just had a whole body shiver like, oh, nope, nope, not even touching that one for a long time. So good for you for, see, just stepping through.
Yeah.
So, and we just have to support one another. That's
Yeah.
also the key here.
Yeah, I think that you know, because you've done enough of that stepping through, but you realize after a while, like I realized we were talking before we got on the mic, like the podcast is kind of running itself. I mean, yes, I'm still the human running it, but
Yeah.
like it's part of my rhythm. It's part of my routine. I have made space in my life for it. And so it felt like, okay, I need the next thing to challenge me now. Like
Yeah.
the podcast is still there,
Yep.
but I need a new challenge. And so here it is. So, but
Yeah.
it was still just as uncomfortable.
Well, good for you for doing that. But I love what you just said. Excuse me. The rhythm of your life. It's in the rhythm of your life. That's beautiful because you're right. You ebb and flow, and your rhythm is, you have all these pieces that create that rhythm that is you.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. It's poetic, Kara.
Oh, well, thank you. I don't often think of myself as that. So thank you. Well, let's switch gears a little bit and let's talk
Mm.
about who you are as a reader. I know you said you got some audiobooks ready to go, but what are your genres that you gravitate towards?
Mostly all of them except for romantasy, fantasy, sci-fi.
Okay.
And not because I'm not open to it yet. I think it's just that I haven't been exposed to them.
Sure.
Lately, it's been a massive push on rom-coms because that's what I'm working in right now.
Okay.
But And Cindy Steele is responsible for that, but we'll get into that later. But all the genres,
Yeah.
really, just except for those three. But it's not because I'm totally closed off. Although sci-fi, I don't know. You'd have to really present me with something incredible for me to break the spine.
Yeah. The first iteration of what this podcast was going to be was so we could try other genres. Like
Mm,
way, way, way back in, I think it was 2021.
yeah.
And it was, I said the same thing as you. I was like, I always say I'm not a fantasy reader, but how can I say I'm not a fantasy reader if I never try it? And then
That's
you
right.
go to fantasy and there's thousands of books and you're
Oh,
like, where do you even start? So that was what the first iteration of the show was. Well, my neighbor down the street was a fantasy reader. And I was like, Ashley, will you come on the
yeah,
show with me and bring three fantasy books that would be great to a newer person to fantasy
yeah.
that we could all try? And that was where the book flight came from. So
Well, I
way
need to go
back.
listen to that episode.
Yes. And I will say I've read two. I have not read the third one yet. And it really opened my eyes. So I have picked up way more fantasy over the
Oh,
past three
wow.
or 4 years now.
And there's
So
such a following. I mean, you look at these little towns that are there's bookstores popping up everywhere. They're
yeah,
exploding,
which
right?
is
And
amazing.
it is amazing. I love it. In Toronto, there's one called Hopeless Romantics,
Okay.
strictly romance. And it is the sweetest store you will ever walk into. So they started in a little storage container. What do you,
Yeah, like
sea
a
can?
Connex box or something like that.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
those metal containers.
Yep.
And there was like a whole shop area of them. Well, they grew out of it and they have a
That's awesome.
store on Queen Street, which is one of the main streets of shopping in downtown Toronto. So I find
Yeah.
that fantasy stores are opening, romance stores are opening. So
Yeah.
maybe I can open just a strictly canine related
There you
bookstore.
go. Dreams. They're still there. How
There.
in your busyness do you find time to read?
Oh, that's tough. So in the rhythm of my life now, I have started to wake up at 5 again,
Okay.
which is something I used to do. But now that we've bought my childhood home, and so my mother is still in her home living
Yeah.
with us, I tend not to want to get up so early because I don't want to disrupt her and the dog. But I'm finding a way to do it, and I have been. I've been waking up at 5, and that is strictly for reading time.
Yeah. I love
Because
it.
when it's nighttime, forget it. Two
Yeah.
pages, I'm out.
Hmm.
But I've also been incorporating it into walking with audiobooks and driving. Like I
Yeah.
said, this next 6 hours, can't wait.
Yeah.
So that's how I fit it in.
What book do you have lined up?
I am currently reading Too Good to Be Real by
Okay.
Melanie Johnson.
Okay.
I mean, plus the list
Yeah,
as,
exactly. I'm
that
like,
goes
ooh.
on.
But I'm
Yes.
like so excited for you that you have this time.
Yes, you'll know me too. I am in an MFA program, so we do have to read certain we have to read within our genre, and so
Okay.
I've picked up hers for that purpose, for an
Okay.
assignment specifically.
Yeah. Oh, I
Mhm.
love it.
Mhm.
Well, you have brought three books with you today as well in the form of a book flight. Can you tell us how you chose these books?
Oh gosh, these are the books that have influenced me in the last 2 years.
Okay.
I'll begin with the one that influenced me the most it allowed me to write my dog's story. So it is
Yay.
Lily and the Octopus. I guess I don't have
Okay.
to show it, but I started to bling it up with some beads here by
Fun. Okay.
Stephen Rowley. And I started to read the first few pages, and there's this thing that I do, and I read the first few pages, I create the voices in my head. Then I go and dabble in the audiobook just to see what it's like. And if I like it, then I'll have both.
Yeah.
Well, I fell in love with the narrator's voice, and I listened to the entire thing in one day. I love
I
everything
love
about
it.
this book. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have this book in so many different versions. This one's like this beautiful hardback with a, flap jacket. I have it in soft cover. This story allowed me to imagine what
Yeah.
my dog might sound like. And Stephen Rowley is perfect author to tell. I think it was his dog as well.
Okay.
And yeah, so that book influenced my writing life in a huge way. I don't
Yeah.
know if we're going into what the story is about or if it's
Yeah,
just
you
more.
could tell. Why don't you tell us a little
Okay.
bit about it
Yeah.
too?
You think I'd remember the main character's name, but He starts off with his Dachshund dog, and he sees an octopus on her head. And he's wondering, like, why this octopus is growing and why this octopus is talking to him all the time.
Yeah.
And so the octopus is also anthropomorphized as well
Okay.
as the dog. And without spoilers, but I think it's right from the get-go, the octopus is it's a disease on the dog.
Okay.
So it's the story of how he navigates the disease that his dog is going through.
Oh,
So we'll
yeah.
leave it at that just because,
Okay.
yes, you will cry, but it's the best
Yeah, I'm
cry.
like, oh
And
gosh, because animals, ever since
I
Homeward
know,
Bound, I've been scarred for life.
I know, but it's just so beautiful, and you will look at your pets differently after you read this book.
Yes,
So, and you may create voices in your head.
I love it. So that was Lily and the Octopus by Stephen Rowley. And what's the next book you brought today?
The Road to Tender Hearts by Annie Hartnett. My
Okay.
goodness, what a book. The cover alone is enough to make you want to buy it.
I know. That's what drew me to it. Honestly, I saw it at the Festival
Oh,
of Books here in San Diego and I
okay.
picked it up and then it was talked about on a book flight. So then I'm like, well, that's two times it's pinged me now. Like, I definitely need to
Hmm.
grab this book. And that was what, yeah, got me
You're
into it.
so right. When something shows up more than two or three times, it's time to pay attention, right?
Yeah.
Her writing, she is witty, she is funny. In a land of dark moments, she is able to bring you through the dark and into the light through her humor.
Yeah.
But this is a story about Uncle PJ, who everyone probably can relate to an Uncle PJ somewhere, who won $1 million in the lotto, and he wants to go and reconnect with his high school sweetheart. And so there are so many more bits and
I'm
pieces that
laughing as I'm thinking
come
about it.
along this travel. He goes on a trip with two kids and his daughter to see his high school sweetheart, and you will laugh. You will probably, well, you might cry. I don't know if you
Yeah.
will, but I did, and it is a beautiful story about family, grief, friendship, love, everything. And I
Yeah.
can't wait to I listened to this one as well.
I did
So
too.
I did it again, right? I
Yeah.
started to read it, and then as soon as I tapped into the audio, I was all in,
Yeah.
and
I
I
will
couldn't get enough
say,
of it.
listeners, that Holly introduced this to our book club, this idea of starting with the physical copy or, Kindle copy or whatever you have, and
Hmm.
then jumping into the audio. And I have loved it because I listen so much faster than I do read books. And with having so little free time in my life, like, it really helps me get through the books.
Hmm.
And not that that's not the way I want to read, but it helps me really get into the story. And then I want to keep reading. So then I like make
Yes,
space and time of like, oh, I'm going to go fold the third basket of laundry because I want to know what's happening in this book.
exactly.
It really has opened up. So I appreciate you bringing that
I,
to
yeah,
our
no, and I
attention.
appreciate that. I think, and it's true. I mean, it has changed the way that I consume books.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm guilty of is sometimes I read like a writer.
Yeah.
So I don't fully immerse myself in the story when I'm reading on paper. So
Yeah.
that's something that I'm
Because you're
working through, but
analyzing it.
because I'm analyzing it. So when I listen to audio, I do not analyze it at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. Because you
But
can't really. I think our brain doesn't catch up, right, to be able to do that.
yeah. Well, because I recognize that when I did that in the beginning, I was forever stopping and pausing the book to
Yeah.
try and write something down like, oh, that's a neat thought, or yeah.
Yeah. So that was The Road to Tender Hearts by Annie Hartnett. And if you're like, I loved this book so much, you can turn into episode 199, came out this week, and you can hear from Annie Hartnett herself and how she gathered all of this cast of characters and everything that happens to them. It was really interesting to hear her
Oh, it was
thought
great. It was
process.
so wonderful to hear. Well, it puts so many pieces together, right?
Yeah.
After reading the book, and you're like, well, that's how you came up with that. Like,
Yeah.
wow, her thought patterns are incredible. To
Yeah.
just tap into her brain just for an hour was fun.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And what's the last book you brought today?
This woman doesn't even realize it, but she opened my world to rom-coms.
Okay.
Her name is Cindy Steele, and her this particular novel is Faking Christmas. I've also blinged that book up. I hope she doesn't mind.
She probably would love it, honestly. She's so sweet.
Yeah. Um, and the cover is just adorable. And I know she has like a very all of her books follow the same sort of cover, but then this
Yeah.
one was a special edition
Oh,
and it
you
had
got that
authors.
one.
Yes.
Yes. How fun. Okay.
I took a chance. I didn't even know. I mean, it
Yeah.
was the first real rom-com that I tapped into, and she's opened up that world to me. And it's a, what is it now? It is fake dating, that trope.
Yeah.
And it was just lovely. It was winter. They were at a resort where there's several cabins and they meet, outside and they go sledding. So it opened my mind to this world of cozy.
Yeah.
I had no idea. And I wish I would have, but that's okay, as it happened when it needed to.
Yeah.
Now I can't get enough of them. And I just purchased her new book, but it's I don't know, everything about that book was fun, cozy, quaint, cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
When
I
I
also listened to it. I did
I
both on
think I
that
did
one.
listen to this one too. And I was just thinking as you were talking that I recently just did a review for Cindy
Yeah.
for her newest one that just came out. And literally the first line I wrote is like, I've never met a Cindy Steele book that I didn't like because every time I pick up another one and I'm like, I just fall in love with it just as much as the other ones I
Yeah.
have read. They're all wonderful. So you can't go wrong with Cindy
Can't.
Steele. But
You
this
can't.
one's Faking Christmas. So
Yes.
cozy Christmas read.
Yes.
As you were talking, it popped into my mind that way back on episode 54, we actually had an animals in fantasy book flight. So
Ooh.
that might be the perfect episode for you to tune
Yes.
into. And it all featured a main character that was an animal in fantasy books. So maybe that could be
Okay.
your trial to see if it's a genre for you.
I love it. Did you say the number of the episode?
Yeah,
50?
episode 54. I'll send it
Or
to you in an
okay.
email.
Perfect.
But yeah, it popped in my mind of like, wait a minute, way back, we did a whole book flight on animals and fantasy. So
Never know. I mean, rom-com was not on my radar, so
yeah,
here I am writing a meet cute. So thanks,
there you
Cindy.
go. Well, thank you so much for bringing those books with you today. I always love to hear how books influenced your life.
Hmm.
How I love to end our show is with a speed round of questions you can answer really quick. Are you a rereader?
Yes.
Okay. What is
Hmm.
one book you've read that has changed your life?
Oh gosh. The Red Tent by Anita
Oh,
Diamant. Yes, it's
yes.
older, but I read that book in 4 hours.
Yes.
I remember where I was, who I was, what I was doing.
That is coming out on a book flight, I think in April. So,
Okay.
yeah, we chatted about that book.
Wonderful.
Where is your favorite place to read?
On the couch, under a blanket with my dog on my lap, and new discovery, YouTube fireplaces. Didn't know they existed.
Yes. We use those on Christmas morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
We do have a fireplace, but as you know, in
Me
San Diego,
too.
we don't always need it. So,
Yeah.
lastly, what are you reading next?
I am reading Too Good to Be Real
Okay.
by Melanie Johnson. It's for a school assignment, but yeah, that's what's on my plate.
Perfect.
Aside from the 10 other books,
Yeah.
plus 90 books.
There you go. We won't talk about how many books are on our TBRs.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Holly, for coming on the show today. I had so much fun getting to know you a bit more, and I hope the listeners did too.
Thank you so much, Kara. Loved
You're
every minute.
welcome. Thank you so much for listening to this episode today with Holly B to discuss her debut novel, North of Broken and Forever Home. Her book flight includes books that she has loved from the past 2 years. We'd love to hear a recent favorite of yours at bookishflights.com. If you enjoyed the show, please head over to Apple Podcasts and leave a review. Your review not only helps the show, but it also helps the podcast to reach others. Make sure you are subscribed on Apple Podcasts or Spotify to make sure you will not miss an episode. That's it for today. Thank you so much for listening. As Emma Thompson said, I think books are like people in the sense that they'll turn up in your life when you most need them. Cheers to you, dear readers. Until next time.